confidence. What does it mean to be confident? I can tell you from firsthand experience, I have spent a lifetime trying to figure out what it means to live in an authentic, confident way without second guessing myself, without doubting all my choices, a place of feeling secure in who I'm being while I'm moving through the world. So today on the podcast, I want to speak a little bit more about how to develop your confidence and how to move through the world in a way where you're no longer doubting and second guessing and trying to get that approval from everybody else. This is a practice and it's not about perfection, but we're going to explore this in depth today on the podcast. Welcome, everybody. So glad you're here. It's Keith, and I love doing these solo episodes because they put me right at the edge of my comfort zone. I've spoken the past episodes about how challenging it is to push record on the camera and on the recorder here for the podcast and let my thoughts flow without overthinking, second guessing myself, without tearing myself apart in my head about how I could do better, how I could do more. And I know that I'm not alone. I know there's people listening right now that also struggle with self-esteem, self-confidence. And so I wanted to just talk about this today and just really dive into the topic in a deeper way. When I think back to when I first had my confidence shaken up, I believe I was in grade 7, and I really wanted to be an actor in grade 7. I convinced my mom that I could take some time off school to go for this audition at the local theater company where I live. They were putting on Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, the play, and they were looking for child actors. So I was so excited, and my mom said, yeah, you can take the afternoon off school and go for the audition. And so I did. And that day came around, and it so happened that my brother was sick from school that day. So he came along with us to the audition, and we were sitting in the waiting room. And as I recall, as we were sitting there, the director of the play came out to, I think, call me in for the audition. And he took one look at my brother and he said, that's the kid we need for this part, basically. And long story short, my brother ended up getting the role and I got a rejection. And I think in that moment, when I think back to it, I made a decision, not consciously, but unconsciously, that I'm not good enough and I'm not deserving of the part. You know, I think our childlike mind at the time doesn't know the full picture and doesn't know all of the implications sometimes why decisions happen or why events happen. In that moment, as a little kid, I just thought, well, I'm not good enough. And I remember hiding in the closet for days on end, just seriously feeling like not enough. So years pass by and I look back now and I realize that really was one of the root moments for me where I started second guessing myself and doubting my abilities. I can probably name another million stories of where this originated for me. But at the time, grade 7, those formative years, that's when this kind of started for me. And through my whole life, honestly, although I do think that I live authentically at what you would call the edge, where I take risks and I'm not necessarily living the most traditional lifestyle in the world. I mean, I don't have a 9-to-5 job, so to speak. I traveled the world for the first half of my life in a band, making music and never really knowing where I was going to be next. And somehow, even though it appears that I've, had a really authentic, sort of self-assured, confident lifestyle, there's been a lot of me that has second guessed myself over time. Am I making the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? And it's only as of recently that I've really come to terms with a new level of awareness around what it means to be confident and what it means to heal those parts of me that really felt like I wasn't enough. So how did this all happen? It's not just a snap of the finger and then all of a sudden it changes. I think it's adaptive change. So it's not something that's going to be like a technical fix where, you just start thinking it, I'm confident, and all of a sudden you're confident. I think this is a gradual process. But one of the things that I found really helpful over the last little while is this formula, so to speak, that has really locked me into a feeling of more self-assured and more confident in my body. One of the first entryways into this formula of confidence is to notice your breath. So in those moments when you catch yourself doubting your ability or second guessing, or, that saboteur mind comes up and says you're not enough, one of the first things that I do is I just take a deep breath. And when I breathe, all of a sudden I return back into the present moment. When we're not present, there's a more likely chance that our saboteur mind is going to start racing off into stories about not being good enough, or should have done that, or should have said that. When we take a breath and we reset into the present moment, we arrive back in what is the most powerful moment we have, which is the now. So my first step when I'm trying to move into more of a confidence is to take a deep breath. My second step is to become aware of my posture. I don't know about you, but I've noticed that my posture tends to hunch forward, probably because I'm on a computer most of the day, maybe because I'm looking at my phone all day. But the truth of it is, when we're hunched over and our chest closes in, right, it almost does represent playing small. It feels kind of small and confined. And so as soon as I notice my posture going in that position, I right away try to open myself up. So I let my shoulders expand. I pop my chest out a little bit. I straighten up my spine so I feel a little bit taller. And just by taking that shift of posture, that also has an effect on my confidence level. I think there's a direct link between our physiology of the body and actually what we're believing to be true. And when we're all closed in and our chest is tight and our shoulders are rounded, right? This says, please don't see me in the world. I'm not confident. When I open myself up posturally, I feel more confident. I feel like I'm actually taking up space. You might even explore just opening your arms wide or lifting your arms up to either side of the room and just spreading your fingers wide and just like claiming the space around you physically. And just that postural assumption starts moving you into a place of what I would say is feeling expanded. Okay, so we've got the breath, we've got the posture. The next thing I'm going to talk about is our imagination. Now, when you hear the word imagine, right, there's two words in there. Image in, imagine, right? What are the images in your mind that are playing out on a regular basis? For most of us, let's be honest, our thoughts are beating us up as opposed to building us up, right? How many times during the day do we think a thought of I'm not good enough, or I need to do better, or they're not going to like me, right? Just be honest with yourself. It's so often that we go into our mind and we doubt and we beat ourselves up. So in that imaginative place, the invitation, step 3 to building confidence, is to start telling yourself a new story about confidence, right? To actually tell yourself something that's going to move you into a place of believing it to be true. Like, I'm already enough might be the statement. Or I'm lovable just the way I am. Or it might be, I can accomplish anything that I put my mind to. Anything like that. Something that's a mantra that's going to build you up, and just to start imagining that to be true. I think that is so powerful because we become what we think about. So if you're thinking about, I'm not enough and nobody likes me and, I'm not good enough, that's going to become your reality. So why not start telling yourself a new story in your mind of confidence, of what you imagine yourself to be? They've done research and they found that the average mind thinks up to 60,000 thoughts a day, and the large majority of those thoughts tend to be chronically repetitive in nature, meaning we're thinking the same thing every day. And if you're thinking the same thing every day in a chronically negative way, that just gets ingrained in your cellular memory of the body and starts becoming true. So why not start reprinting that cellular memory with thoughts like, I'm enough. I can accomplish anything I put my mind to. I can do it, right? Or just do it, like the Nike ad. That's another step, okay? So we got take a deep breath, especially in those moments when you're doubting yourself and second guessing. Number 2, assume a posture that's going to claim the space. Open your arms, sit up straight, open your shoulders, broaden the chest, right? Step 3, imagine yourself in a confident way. Tell a new story. What's your mantra? I can do it. I'm enough. I've got this. I can accomplish anything I put my mind to. What's going to be yours, right? And then finally, it's one thing to say those things, but what about to feel them to be true as well? So I think this may be one of the more challenging invitations, you might call it, in this little formula. But to get in front of a mirror and to see yourself actually assuming the posture of taking up space and to say your mantra out loud to yourself and then to feel it and notice your reaction in the mirror. At first, you might notice you're doubting it or you think, oh, this is so weird or cheesy. But I think one of the most powerful ways we can practice confidence is to stand in front of a mirror and notice that any rejection coming up is actually happening to you in your own head. The mirror is not doing it to you, right? When you stand in front of a mirror, the mirror is simply just reflecting back what you believe about yourself. So if you get in front of a mirror and you're like, I think I can accomplish something here, but I don't know, they might not like me. The mirror is going to tell you that just based on your facial expression and posture. So my invitation to you is to get in front of a mirror, to open your arms wide, to stand up straight, to take a breath, and to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you can do it. You've got this. You are incredible. Who are you not to do this, right? This is the invitation. And any rejection or any feeling of like lack of acceptance as you're standing in front of that mirror, that's still the work that you need to do towards confidence. I think as we start believing this to be true, we'll start seeing it in the world around us. One of my favorite teachers, Wayne Dyer, he used to say, you'll see it when you believe it. And I know that to be true. You'll see it when you believe it in your heart to be true. So who was the character in The Wizard of Oz? Was it the lion that wanted courage? I think courage and confidence can be very similar. Courage of the heart. I want to share a quote with you right now from Marianne Williamson, who writes, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And this is the invitation, and this is honestly the payoff to moving into a place of genuine, authentic confidence. Who are you not to be playing big? And who are you not to be shining in this world? I tell myself that, I tell you that, because as we liberate from our own fear, as Marianne writes, we liberate others as well. And it's time to be playing big in the world. It really is. So with that being said, I'm going to finish off this episode by daring to share a few projects I've been working on in a confident way without second guessing myself or wondering if you're going to like these projects. I just want to share them because I'm so excited. I have launched an online membership community called mymindfultribe.com. And the vision of this community is that we meet up regularly together online. We do group coaching sessions. We get together and we talk about what's inspiring us. We hold each other accountable. I'm going to be bringing in some special guest presenters as well to share on different topics around wellness and mindset and just how to live your best life. It's going to be an amazing community, and it's now up on my website, so you can check that out and become a member if it's of interest. I also want to share with you about this brand new journal project that I've created. It's called My Conscious Life, and it's a 3-month daily journal process that you can go through. And it's like having a self-coach guide, so to speak, where every day it takes about 5-10 minutes. You just fill in some probing questions with answers that come to you. And gradually over time, you start developing new habits, more confidence, as I've been speaking about, and living your best life. The journal is also linked up to an online community called myconsciouscommunity.com, so you can check that out as well. And finally, I also want to share with you the great news that my audiobook is almost ready. I've been recording my audiobook, Making Sense of Mindfulness, and it is going to be ready very soon online. I'll let you know in an upcoming episode when it's officially ready. But just a heads up, if you're looking for some new audio to listen to in your car or maybe at home, Making Sense of Mindfulness will soon be an audiobook. So I'd like to hear from you guys. What are you doing this week to stand in your power, to stand in your confidence? What are you creating? What does it mean to play big in the world? Send me a message, shoot me a line, let me know. I want us to build each other up as opposed to beating each other up in our minds and in our thoughts. It's time to really live our best life and live in a place of confidence. So until next time, everybody, be well and be safe and live courageously, live authentically. You can do it. You've got it. We'll see you next time on the next episode of Let's Connect. All right, well, that concludes another episode of Let's Connect, and I hope that it's inspired you as much as it has me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and remember to subscribe to both the YouTube channel and the podcast channel, and I look forward to you joining me on the next episode of Let's Connect.